It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. With me this week are four of the best comedians around. On my right, we have Neil Delamere and Susan Riddle, and facing them are Liam Withnell and Dana Alexander. In the news this week, most male monkeys are bisexual, according to a new study. Although this was contested by the lead researcher, who said that's not what he meant when he said they swing both ways. The 1975 brought Transmit to an unconventional close on Sunday night, with frontman Matty Healy arriving in a wheelie bin. Punters then had to check the council website to see if they should throw glass, paper or cans. And Boris and Carrie Johnson have announced the birth of their third child, a son called Frank Alfred Odysseus Johnson. When asked why they had chosen those names, Boris said they were the only ones that he was sure that he hadn't used for any of his other kids. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where ordinarily our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. However, our originally planned discussion around the allegations surrounding a BBC presenter took a dramatic turn in recent days. The police confirmed there was no evidence of criminal activity, and a statement was released naming Hugh Edwards as the presenter involved. It went on to say that he had been hospitalised after a serious mental health episode. So, given the circumstances, we're going to draw a line under the story there and focus our attention elsewhere. Now, back to the Broken News and one of the other big stories of the week. Neil and Susan, can you tell me what this is all about?
The President of the United States is in the UK for meetings with
the King in Windsor Castle. Despite their agreement over
the Prime Minister,
there are tensions between the two leaders.
President Biden says
Rishi Sunak
won't spend long in Downing Street.
Oh, another one? So there we go, Neil. What are you thinking then? Any ideas what that story might be?
Is this the biggest story of the week, Des, that the President of the United States has come to the UK to chat about NATO when he's on his way to the NATO conference, but he actually met Rishi Sunak and then went on to meet King Charles, the artist formerly known as Prince?
Is the right answer. Well done, Neil. Of course, it's the news that US President Joe Biden met King Charles at Windsor Castle this week on a flying visit to the UK. The pair apparently got on like a house on fire, and Charles laughed off a breach of royal protocol as the President patted the King on the back. Mr Biden also described relations with the UK as rock solid during talks in London with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, saying he couldn't be meeting a closer friend and a greater ally. Joe Biden was spotted using cue cards during his meeting with Rishi Sunak, with the President known for his gaffes. This is probably not a bad idea, especially as he greeted King Charles asking how his mother was and if Diana would be joining them later. So Neil, right answer there. It was short, but do you think it's been a good trip for President Biden?
He was chatting with Rishi Sunak about cluster bombs, the use of cluster bombs in Ukraine. So that's the big thing. If you don't know what a cluster bomb is, 100 countries around the world have signed treaties against cluster bombs. The US wants to give cluster bombs to Ukraine. A cluster bomb is a big bomb that falls to a certain height and then releases loads of little bomblets, and they essentially destroy things indiscriminately. Basically, it's like Boyzone. Boyzone were bad enough, but when they split and all tried to release indiscriminate solo projects, you know.
Bad news.
I felt sorry for him, so I did, Des, because you know he had the wee cue cards where, like, now, like, he had, like, NATO and cluster bombs and that, like, wee to-do list. Like, because as a comedian, I've always got, like, wee, like, notes kicking about and stuff, and sometimes you even write, like, your set list on your hand, and then you forget to wash it off. And it can be quite embarrassing. Like, I was getting the train home and I had, it's just like the topics you're going to talk about that night. I had it wrote in my hand and it just said lazy, shy hooker. And there was a guy sitting next to me in the train, like, that's an interesting tattoo you've got there.
Well, there you go. He's come along here, Dana, and he's had a visit. He's met a few people. Short trip, but do you think President Biden's trip was a good one?
Well, I think any trip that Biden has that doesn't involve a broken bone is probably a good thing. And I think the first time he came here is a little bit more excited because the first time he came to the UK, it was by ship, which of course took about 2 weeks, and we don't know how much time he has left.
Charlie Chaplin went the other way, didn't he? Yeah.
I just think it seems a bit pointless, you know? He's that senile that you could have just spun him round 3 times and said, "Did you enjoy your flight, Mr. Biden? Welcome to the United Kingdom. I'm King Charles and I'm here to give you your medication."
What do you think Biden and King Charles are talking about?
I'd say Charles went, "I hear you're running again." And he went, "I sure am. I ran for president first in 1987 and I had to wait 33 years to get the top job." And Charles was like, "Oh, God love you. Did you?" Oh, my God. That must have been so hard for you. Anything under 70 years we call the fast track in my house.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, Dana, what do you think America can learn from the UK?
Well, speaking as a North American, I've learned a lot of things from the UK, like how to make a decent Yorkshire pudding,
Yes.
How to make pop music depressing, how to pronounce Worcestershire sauce, hey. And how to use the children of immigrants to oppress other migrant groups.
Yeah. A sting in the tail with the last one there, but Yorkshire puddings, eh? Well, there we go. We got there in the end, and that was the right answer. President Joe Biden had a flying visit to the UK and met with King Charles for the first time during his stop at Windsor Castle. When asked about his meeting with the King, Biden said he looked a lot different in real life, but then again, it was only on season 3. Well done, everyone. You get 2 points apiece for that. It was the story of President Biden's visit to the UK, and at the end of that round, the teams are all square. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to 2 friends of the show, BBC Radio Scotland music presenter Vic Galloway and journalist and broadcaster Afia Hagen. So, Liam and Dana, what do you think Afia is on about here?
You guys are having us on because I feel like we've known that this has existed for ages. If I was the first person to meet them, I'd say, thanks for coming, spend a week or 2, but just get out while you still can, and can I come with you?
They found water on some far away like mini planet.
Yeah,
places.
well done, mate. Good spot in the news this week. It is the news that chances of finding life on other planets has just been given a huge boost, as many more planets may harbour liquid water than previously thought. And with around 100 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy, that represents really good odds for finding the origin of life elsewhere in the universe. Yes, most exoplanets are found using the $2 billion Hubble telescope, making it the most expensive discovery of water since wandering into an airport, W.H. Smith. Do you think, Dana, do you think this is it? Are we going to find alien life soon?
Well, I think we already found it. I saw it at least 3 times on Downing Street. There was this woman, she was mumbling about revolutionizing the economy with cheese. And then we saw another one who was dancing with African children. Tell me what the hell was that? And then the last one, I remember they tried to get him into a normal habitat and found out that he couldn't pump gas, and he tried to tap his contact list through the glass. He found it.
Neil, what about you? They have found water on some other planets. Do you think we are going to find alien life soon?
Yeah, I think it's the one thing that allowed the Tories to win the next election. Because the right-wing press absolutely loves dumping on people coming from other countries. Can you imagine how excited they're going to get if it's people coming from other planets or aliens? They're going to get the full-on immigration horn over that. They're going to be like... The Daily Mail will be out going, they need to claim asylum in the first safe planet that they come to. They're coming to Earth and I've seen them land at Cape Canaveral and being brought straight to the benefits office. But Superman is a more productive member of society than a lot of people born on Earth. I don't care! He is an economic migrant. He's not. He came here as a baby. Well, then he's been alien trafficked. Stop the boats.
Liam, obviously this is something that's interested a lot of people. Do you think some people maybe are a bit obsessed by this?
Yeah, I think it's understandable to be obsessed with this idea of alien life because life here is just so bleak. The price of meal deals has gone out of control. Nothing ever gets better. So the idea that there's a chance to go somewhere else, colonise there, and be the first people to start a new worse planet, but in this time be in the powerful position, I find that very appealing.
He's up for it. I like
You've never sounded more English.
So obviously this has caught a lot of interest in the past few days, but it has historically. Susan, do you think some people are obsessed with this idea?
Yep, and I think it's more men that are obsessed with it than women, right? And I've got a theory about why this is, and this is going to sound made up, but it's no. I was dating this guy who was a space engineer, so he was. We were dating for a while. He would do things was building rockets and things like that, which turned out to be quite ironic because he was a rocket in the end, but that's besides the point. Anyway, we're going out for a while, and then he broke up with me, right, with no irony, saying that he wanted space. And I was like, do you not got enough of that at work?
So people are obsessed with this. I got into a taxi in Dublin not long ago, and the guy had a photograph on his dashboard. An old-fashioned photograph, blue tacked to his dashboard. And I said, what's that? And he went, that is the surface of the moon. And I went, joking, all right, did you have a good time when you were up there? And he went, oh, no, I wasn't up there. I'd never... No, I'd never get the time off. As if that is the main reason a Dublin taxi driver would not go to the moon.
That's brilliant. If aliens landed on Earth, Dana, and you were the first person to meet them, what would you tell them about Earth?
What would I say? I'd probably say Rwanda.
If aliens landed on Earth and you were the first person to meet them, what would you tell them about Earth?
I would take them to go and see the Edinburgh trams. I'd say, guys, this is the peak of British engineering, of global universal engineering. They came on time and under budget. They go all the way to New Haven. So you may be able to fly back to Mars, okay? But can you go to the airport in 4 hours? I don't know.
It's a sight to behold. Susan, imagine you're in that position. Aliens landed on Earth. You're the first person to meet them. What are you going to tell them about Earth?
Well, I try and explain Crocs to them. But then I realise that's a fruitless endeavour because there's no logical answer why people would wear those abominations.
Yes, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn are prime candidates for finding life in our solar system, and both NASA and ESA have named a missions plan to Jupiter's moons. However, Clipper and Juice won't arrive until 2030. They were going to share the journey, only Clipper insisted on stopping at the House of Brewer. Right, it's to you, Neil and Susan. It's your turn. What do you think Vic is talking about here?
How? Is the weather going to be nice? How? Are there any strawberries and cream still available? How? I'm not sure I trust Tim Henman anymore. Can you keep me updated?
The AI commentary for Wimbledon.
And that is indeed the right answer. Artificial intelligence has found a place at Wimbledon in the form of groundbreaking AI commentary. And here's what that sounds like.
Peniston plays Murray on the esteemed centre court in the first round. Peniston hits a backhand winner on game point.
Now, critics of AI technology say it simply can't match the knowledge and experience of the game that human commentators have. However, the AI has already won the same number of Grand Slams as current Wimbledon commentator Tim Henman. So, seems well qualified. Susan, would you prefer AI commentary at Wimbledon?
I just think we need to accept that the robots are taking over, which doesn't really bother me because I think I might be a robot. Because the first clue was I never cried at the opening sequence of Up, that film, right? And then the second clue is like, you know how when you have to like tick the wee box, I am not a robot, and then they give you like the little like clues, like the grid. I always get that wrong, and then I'm just like, am I a robot?
Yeah. Are you a robot? The big question we'll try and answer. Neil, what do you think about this then? Would you prefer an AI commentary for Wimbledon?
I think it's amazing that we're going to hear a robot voice commentating at Wimbledon before we hear a working class one. Like, you never hear a working class voice. You never hear so. Jesus, he's after battering that up the line. I'd love that. Jeez, he's after Djokovic didn't have a clue what was going on there, will you? It'd be brilliant.
What about this then? Tennis, Dana, we're trying to update it. Do you think the sport needs updated?
I do think that men should learn what it's like to play sports with like giant breasts because it just changes everything. When you got to wear like 4 bras to run around, I think they got the advantage there.
I'm working on it, you know, I am.
He's an ally.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about AI, robots. Are they taking over? What about you, Liam? How would you use AI to improve your life?
Can I pretext this answer with the words, I love my wife, okay? I love my wife, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes when she gets home from work, she has a capacity to sort of tell me about her day in a fairly long-winded manner. And on occasion, very rarely, I might zone out for the entirety of that conversation. And it would be very handy if I could just grab my phone and ask for sort of spark notes, bullet points, the key points where I can later go, oh, so Kerry left her out-of-date yogurt in the work fridge. And she's like, you are such a good listener, I know. And that would be beneficial.
Genius. AI saving Liam's relationship right there. Well done, sir. AI commentary at Wimbledon is the right answer, and 2 points go to Neil and Susan. You're listening to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Neil and Susan, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I did buy myself a big chopper of a motorbike, and I would stick my guitar and my tent on the back of it and motorbike down to the south of France and down to Cannes and Nice and back, just strumming away.
Damien Lewis, isn't it?
Damien Lewis, yeah, right.
Damien Lewis sang, I use the word loosely, he sang the national anthem at Silverstone, didn't he?
That is the right answer, Neil. It is award-winning actor Damien Lewis.
He's a brilliant actor.
Fantastic actor. Damien Lewis grabbed the headlines this week by performing a sax-accompanied Elvis-inspired take on God Save the King at the British Grand Prix. And if you'd like to hear exactly what that sounds like, then here's a very mercifully short blast.
God save our gracious King. Long live our noble King. God save the King.
Neil, I think I know the answer to this. What do you make of Damien's performance?
He actually can sing. That's the thing. He can sing in tune, and he's most famous for Homeland, which I think was an homage to Homeland, because in Homeland, if you know, you don't know where his loyalties lie. You know, is he a traitor or is he a patriot? And when he sang the national anthem, I genuinely had no idea if he really wanted God to save the king or not. I really had no idea.
Liam, what about you? We've obviously heard a little bit of Damien Lewis there. He was performing ahead of the F1 Grand Prix. What did you make of that performance?
I think it's impressive to be the worst noise at Formula One.
It reminded me of Mind That Vic Reeves club singer thing.
Yes, Shooting stars.
It was great how the saxophone was playing to a different song at the same time.
Now, Damien Lewis showcased what was up to recent times a hidden talent. But how talented are our panel today? Dana, what about you? Have you got a hidden talent?
Yes. I can sound white on the phone. It's really good if you want a job or an apartment or you have to talk to the police.
Susan, what's your hidden talent?
I can play the William Tell Overture on my teeth.
Teeth.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you serious with this?
Aye.
Would you give it a go?
Oh, do you want me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try my best, right? I've not done it since high school. Right, hold on a minute. Need to warm up my fingers here.
Get her on the Formula One, all right now.
Susan, I'm not going to lie. I thought that was going to be rubbish. That was amazing.
I know, man. There's nowhere to place that kind of talent. Do you know what I mean?
That is
finally got the chance to do it to a room full of people.
Well done, yes. 2 points to Neil and Susan. That was actor turned singer Damien Lewis. Right, Liam and Dana, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I still feel the need to remind people that cooking doesn't have to be complicated. People still hold on to a view that in some way a recipe is like an exam that you can pass or fail.
Nigella Lawson.
Nigella Lawson's the right answer, yeah. Is indeed Nigella Lawson, who is ditching extravagant dinner parties for more relaxed meal times for visitors. You might have assumed the celebrity chef and food writer, who's known for the polished, decadent style of her TV cooking shows, regularly hosts glamorous dinner parties for her friends and family. But in a new interview, Nigella explained that this is now a rare occurrence and that she prefers to serve bowls of Twiglets to her friends instead.
My question is, how do you host a formal dinner party when you can't even use a knife? She has poor knife skills. Have you seen her cut it? How does she do
She needs to spend some time in Glasgow.
You've lived in Scotland for too long, Liam. Susan, what about you? Do you think this is it? Is the formal dinner party dead?
No, I don't really like anything like that. I don't like sharing food either. I went on a date with a Spanish guy and we went for tapas. And you know what Spanish people are like? They're just like, oh, sip, nibble, chat and all that. And I was just like wolfing it down. Like, it was just horrific. Like, it was talking to me and I couldn't even concentrate because it was like the last cricket sitting there and I'm just...
The Last Croquette. That sounds like a Daniel Day-Lewis film. I will find you.
What do you think then? I think we've picked up a vibe here. Do you think, is it too stressful to cook for people? What do you think, Dana?
People or vegans? No, I actually had 2 vegetarians over for Christmas and I was forced to make a nut loaf. It was actually really delicious and all the meat eaters ate it and the vegetarians starved, but they were used to it.
That's the way to do Christmas.
I find it too stressful to cook for myself. I'm not... during the pandemic, I got Deliveroo every day for 2 years. And I used that government grant to pay for it too. Remember that free money we got? I paid a man to cycle me chips every day. He looks amazing. I look dreadful.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
There we are. What do you think then, Neil? What's you saying to it, Neil? Is it too stressful to cook for people?
It is because, like you say, about vegans and vegetarians knocking over to your house and you don't know what to cook for them. And then I'm just increasingly bumping into more vegans and vegetarians. I went a trekking once and there was these 2 Californian girls. It was from our honeymoon, so it was in Peru, like, you know, and it was all fancy. And there were these 2 girls and they were like, oh, I'm allergic to tree nuts. Fair play to you. I'm lactose intolerant and I can't eat food cooked on a Wednesday. And like, I'm celiac. Do you know what that is? Yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I'll eat your burger. Will you shut up? Yeah. But it's...
Susan, talk us through your dream dinner party. Who would be there?
Just one person, actually. Somebody I had a weird crush on when I was a child. And that is Douglas, the Lurpak guy. Mine. Does everybody mind Douglas? Aye, we had the trombone. I love butter that much, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want a guy made out of butter. I'll lock him in my basement, Des, and just, like, I don't know, just go in every now and again with a bit of toast, chop a wee bit off. Like Jeffrey Dahmer with butter. I don't know.
Have you been to a dinner party before?
I hate formal meals, the serious atmosphere, dressing up all smart, attending the funeral beforehand. Good on you, Nigella Lawson is the right answer. 2 points go to Liam and Dana. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blank. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
And my goodness me, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, there we go. Radio legend Janice Forsyth once again getting the beautiful South's name wrong. Right. Fingers on your buzzers. Here we go. What will cost you £25 million? Liam.
1 week's rent during the Edinburgh Festival.
Great answer. Let's keep it going. What will cost you £25 million? Susan.
Building your own man out of Lurpak.
These are brilliant answers. Let's keep it going for a wee bit more. What will cost you £25 million? Dana.
20% of a failed Rwanda plan.
Sadly, very true. Let's keep it going. Any more for any more if you want it. What will cost you £25 million? Neil.
The photos of me that Des Clark asked for many years ago.
And they were worth every penny. I can put you out of your misery. What will cost you £25 million? The answer is Dunbeath Castle, which dates back to 1620. It is now up for sale.
And my goodness me, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, there we go. That's it. That's the klaxon Janice has Forsyth. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Neil Delamere and Susan Riddle. Commiserations to Liam Withnell and Dana Alexander. And we'll leave you with the breaking news just in. A 1940s wartime-themed festival has attracted thousands of people despite challenging weather. Most of the festivities continued in the face of heavy rain, though the fighting on the beaches was moved inside. A Wiltshire head teacher has defended locking toilets during lesson time. Anita Ellis says the move will help prepare students for the working world, specifically when they go to work at Amazon. And Humza Yousaf and Kate Forbes are planning to join Matt Ford on stage at the Edinburgh Fringe. Given Fringe price rises, it's entirely dependent on them finding a friend with cheap accommodation. But luckily, they know somebody with a motorhome. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.